friends and foes? Welcome to Let's Get Nerdy. My name is Corey.
I'm Wyatt. It's another episode of Go-Go-Godzilla, the series where we go through every movie in the Godzilla franchise to decide which one of them truly is king of them all. Today, the return of Godzilla.
Boom.
Boom.
That's right, we're going all the way back to 1992, where for the second time ever, Michael Keaton puts on the red leather suit, Danny DeVito becomes the Penguin, and we get Michelle Pfeiffer, right? Michelle Pfeiffer as the iconic Catwoman. Just kidding. That's the wrong returns. We're doing 1984, Return of Godzilla, where I don't know actually the name for the guy who puts on the suit for this one, so I apologize for that.
The actor in the suit. Fuck, I looked up his name, then I forgot.
But yeah, so sorry, we're not covering Batman Returns today.
Yeah.
Probably eventually. I'm sure we'll get to
one
that
day.
But Wyatt, last week you introduced us to a new segment called Wyatt's 5 Furious Facts. Fast 5 Facts.
Oh my god, it's getting all kinds of names.
Yeah. Give us the facts for this movie.
Yeah, so to kind of elaborate a little bit, if you missed last week, we're doing a new segment called 5 Quick Facts. Just 5 quick things about the movie that we don't want to give, don't want to spend a lot of time on, I guess, just quick things. So this one, directed by, oh boy, I am so sorry, Koji Hashimoto? Hashimoto? Okay.
Yeah, that's
not too bad. It was released on August 23rd of 1985. I thought it was 84.
So it was probably 84 in Japan. It's 85 in America.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. Okay. Anyway,
because in America it's often called Godzilla 85.
Yeah, that's true. Okay. So it had a budget of $6.25 million, $6.25 million, and a box office total of $14 million. I don't know if that was Japan or worldwide. I didn't get that specific fact in there, or stat in there. But anyway, it's the last film produced in the Showa era, but also the first produced in the Heisei era.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a duel.
It's
of them.
Yeah, we kind of mentioned that last week.
A little bit, yeah. And my last little fact is it has a runtime of 103 minutes. So kind of not too far off from what we've been experiencing.
Yeah. Which, kind of leading into our initial thoughts right off the bat, because like history-wise, I think we can just both establish we have none. Like I have not seen this one before. I have heard about it. It's been a notoriously hard one to track down to actually watch.
Right.
So, and I'm assuming you have no history, correct?
Yeah, I don't have anything with it at all.
So we're gonna skip the history because there's none to speak of. It's always a movie that I've really wanted to watch. So initial thoughts, I was actually very excited for this one.
I was too.
And going into it, because I was like, oh, I've never seen it before, and it's a mystery a little bit. I knew what the rough plot was and some of the significant moments, but I hadn't seen it. And I gotta be honest, initial thoughts, I don't have many because, to me, this is a little bit of a duller entry in the series. It's not the worst. It's not the worst.
Right.
But there are a lot of the movies we've already covered that I would much rather watch again.
Yeah.
I've already kind of mentioned to you off camera. There's not a lot that jumped out to me as moments that I love from this one.
Yeah.
I want to say if you want to jump in with your initial thoughts, feel free. The production and the special effects and the suit, they're all awesome. The sets are awesome.
Yeah.
You can tell that this is now in the era of the blockbuster just from a production standpoint.
Yeah.
And this might also just go ahead and segue into our before I continue rambling, Wyatt, what are your initial thoughts?
It's kind of similar to your initial thoughts. I really didn't have I got pretty bored about halfway through this movie. I was really intrigued at the start. It had that spooky kind of horror-esque vibe with the ship and the island and so on and so forth, and then it just kind of lost me, and it didn't really pick back up like I was hoping it would throughout the rest of the movie. I'm glad that I watched it. I don't think it's bad. It's not bad like you said at all. Sorry, my allergies are driving me crazy. It's just dull. It's kind of dull. Yeah, like you said. But the production is great. The special effects were awesome.
Yeah.
I did kind of find myself being like a little bit. I don't know if nostalgic is the right word already, but like I was kind of sad that we were moving on from the era that we've been in because like I don't know I like the goofy corny like
yeah.
not corny but like goofy like
I think you could call
okay corny.
Godzilla versus Megalon corny.
I don't know what you're talking about.
It's people, but I agree. So like, so the what I would actually compare this to is I thought of this on the way over here is I would actually compare it to the Star Trek motion picture, which like I don't know if you've ever seen it. It's a very dull movie because and many people will know this, like it was the first time that they ever had a huge budget to work with. So most of the movie was taken up with like these glory shots of like the Enterprise and like these like massive like cinematic shots. But the movie itself, there's not a lot that happens.
Yeah.
And I would actually say the same thing because like I mentioned, with 1984, this is now kind of what I was starting to get into before. This is now like firmly the era of the blockbuster.
Yes.
By 1984, you have, I mean, we've already last week I mentioned Jaws. You have the whole Star Wars trilogy by this point. You have Indiana. You have the first two Indiana Jones movies by '84.
I don't know.
At the very least, you have Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Yeah.
And you have E.T. You have Spielberg doing his motherfucking thing.
Yeah.
And so like there is that blockbuster production, and like I said, this has some of the best shots of Godzilla. Like any shots of the suit are awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Some of the shots of the animatronic is awesome.
Yeah. They really like that animatronic.
They do, and some of them looks cool because you get like his actual mouth like kind of curling like an actual animal, and especially thinking about like this predates Jurassic Park, the T-Rex, by 10 years. So like it is kind of a little bit ahead of like you can see the like from Jaws to that to the T-Rex. It's kind of cool to see the evolution. But then there's so many shots that its eyes are going two different ways, and he looks like Godzilla when looking at the camera looks like a drunk guy who is like you're trying to speak some sense into him. He's like, I'm not listening. So I guess to kind of go over some of the rough plot, which I roughly go over the plot. I agree with you. I love the beginning of it. Like there's a lot of mystery, very harkening back to the original because this is supposed to be a direct sequel to the original, kind of ignoring all of the others. And so you kind of get kind of the replaying of the first quarter or so of the original of like the mystery of like something's attacking these boats. You get a shot of like an island literally lifting up and the Godzilla roar, and then you get the ghost ship sailing the next day.
Yeah.
And you get a really actually fun tense scene with like a weird little like
like
sea lice I think what it was.
Yeah, I think so. I think that's what it was called.
Very, very reminiscent of to me the Alien movies with like the face huggers.
Yeah.
Of like the especially Aliens with which that is one of two scenes in this era that I'm like, oh, they ripped that off from Aliens, and we'll get to that one in about a few different movies. You'll as soon as you know the scene, as soon as you watch the scene,
I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
And so that's the beginning of it. Like there's like the idea of it is there's mystery of Godzilla's return, and eventually it's revealed Godzilla's return.
Yeah.
I guess why was there anything particular in the plot that stuck out to you?
Well, I like the suit. I think it's cool. I like that it has the more kind of like modern-y, aggressive look to it.
Yeah.
Modern-y, not like. Like,
we're getting to the suit that we're gonna gush about in a couple movies. Is what we're saying.
Absolutely. Yeah. We're taking those steps. To like we were talking about in the last couple of videos, like the series kind of growing up. This definitely feels like another step on that, or another rung on that ladder. Like it's continuing to grow. The roar I thought was cool.
Yes.
It sounded like the original roar, and then in like the -1 roar, which I think are kind of meant to sound like the same, similar. So that was cool. The scene on the boat was cool. I was like, oh god damn, I was not expecting a horror film. We kind of had some similar ingredients that we have in these movies, like reporters and scientists, and that kind of stuff, which is Okay,
Yeah.
but sorry.
No. No.
No.
Okay.
Anyways, yeah, the like reporters and I guess like the main cast, they didn't really stick out to me all that much. I didn't really like ever get that like invested in them or attached to them. Or, I
Yeah.
don't like they weren't like bad, but um the what the hell is that jet called? The Super X or the Super?
The Super X, yeah.
Yeah, that thing was pretty cool. And it was cool to kind of see like another, like they had the masers and now they have this thing, and they're kind of, it's like another step, another piece in like their armory against Godzilla that
Yeah.
like is what is expanded a lot in the later movies. But
Yeah.
like that thing, I kind of kicked his ass.
Yeah, it did. It
Yeah.
did. So like that's what I was gonna say. Like the Super X, because there's a lot of what you said I agree with, and I want to like comment on a lot of it. The Super X, starting there, I think is something, in my opinion, um, is a lot cooler in concept than the execution here. Because
Yeah.
like, especially when they started facing off, I was like ready for a fight. I was like, oh, this is gonna be awesome. And then they both just kind of slowly moved,
Yeah.
and they just kept lasering them. And then they're like, the concept of the weapon that gets them doesn't like, it's not like an explosion or something like necessarily cool like that. Like it just puts him to sleep.
Yeah.
And he takes a nap. So I like the Super X. I'm lukewarm on in this.
Okay.
I would say it comes back in a later movie. Future spoilers, in a much cooler way.
Yeah.
Literally. Um, but going back to the original point is like the human cast is, yes, like they were really trying to do the same thing of like, if you remember in the original movie, from '54, a lot of the movie was spent with the wrestling with how do we handle Godzilla, right? You had
Yeah.
the scientist who was like, um, no, this is a new life. We need to understand it. We need to preserve it. We need to protect it and like learn to live with it. And then you had and then you also had that added level of Serizawa, that like emotional journey he's on of like, he knows he has the answer, but he also knows what the oxygen destroyer, what that, releasing that into society, what that could possibly mean.
Yeah.
And so you get that struggle between everybody. And here, it doesn't feel as present. Like they play up a little bit on the Cold War tension of the time, which I thought started out really strong. With like, I actually love the idea of having both the American representative and the Russian representative like right there. I'm like, no, we need to bomb this motherfucker. I like that. I didn't love the whole Russia accidentally launching a missile.
Yeah, I didn't. That just wasn't like, it wasn't necessary to add.
Yeah, it was like it didn't. They didn't. It was weird. They didn't focus on it enough for it to be
Yeah, they didn't
any
give it
level
enough
of
weight.
tension. Yeah,
But then like, I don't mean to take over your point
Yeah.
here, but like they didn't give it enough weight, and then like it just felt like a subplot that didn't, I didn't care about.
Yeah.
You know, like we don't need to add more attention to a movie that already has a giant atomic fucking lizard.
yeah.
That's enough.
Or, in my opinion, what they could have done is also like, because the whole Russian missile plot finishes up of like America shoots an anti-missile
Yeah.
missile, and then boom, it's done. They're good from there. Why not have, like, in my opinion, if I would have done it, like the American missile should have missed, and they were like, and then that's when Godzilla like destroys the missile, like, because
Yeah, that would have been a much better way to do that.
yeah, a little bit of a better, more of a like Godzilla is still somewhat of a protector of Earth, because I also feel like they didn't want to commit fully to Godzilla being this destructive villain, because I think they knew in the next movies that they're wanting to kind of still make him the good guy.
Yeah.
Particularly a moment that like I was a little disappointed with how good he was so again, we're jumping around, but there's a particular scene where Godzilla has finally made way to Tokyo, and they have evacuated it for the most part, all except for one guy who's just living it up in I think it's like a casino, and he's having the time of his life. I don't know if he was like supposed to be homeless or just poor or whatever.
Homeless, yeah.
But like he gets up to get a glass of cognac and get fucked up, and he sees Godzilla outside of the window and starts yelling at Godzilla.
Yeah.
And then Godzilla doesn't destroy him.
Doesn't do anything.
I kind of wish, because like I understand, they want him to be the hero, but like I also understand that I think most people would understand that. I don't know. Godzilla is meant to destroy things.
Yeah. Well, it was that homeless guy kept showing up.
Yeah, he shows up
Like-
a few more times.
And then he just like dies.
Yeah,
I don't remember it. Like he got like hit with something like in the head, maybe, or
I believe so. That's yeah.
I remember watching it, and then like he just like falls over and dies, and I'm like,
Yeah.
like really,
Hmm?
like that okay,
He had one of those like soft skulls that babies have.
yeah, I guess so. Yeah, he had too much to drink and just
Yeah, but
went out.
there.
But
I will say there are. With that being said, like we've kind of been mostly negative on the movie so far,
yeah.
and like, is there any positives that you have other than like I guess the suit is mostly what we've gushed about so far.
Yeah.
Let me jump in
mean,
here. There is a little bit like the compliments I can pay to this movie are certainly um, again like going back to the special effects because those are kind of the star of the show in this one.
Mhm.
I love that that we finally get the lighting up of the blue scales or his dorsal fins or plates or whatever they're called, and the atomic breath looks awesome in this
Yeah.
one. It's like it's not quite the beam we're going to get in later movies, but it's
Right.
still like it's a lot more electric blue.
Yeah, it's getting there.
Yeah, and
Go ahead.
do you have anything?
I had something. I had something.
Okay.
We were talking. Oh, I was just gonna say like the breath looked a little bit more like full. I guess like in some of the other movies, it looks a little wispy and like it kind of just like trails up or trails down or whatever.
Yeah.
This one looked a little bit more full, a little more dangerous and stuff. So
Yeah.
that was cool. Then like seeing like the destruction of the city, what destruction there was, that was cool. I mean,
Yeah.
they did really good. Just, I kind of wanted to agree with you on like the special effects and the set pieces and stuff like that. It was all good. And like when I was reading about the movie, that was one of the like the highlights
Mm-hmm.
of it was that like there was the special effects, the sound design, and the I think the score itself
Yeah.
had like either won awards or got like special notes about how well it had been done. So that was one of the highlights of this movie. Like not just with us, but like
Yeah.
with audiences.
Yeah.
I don't know what the word is I'm looking for, but like
Critics.
we'll go with that. Yeah.
Okay, sure. But yeah, and I will say also I like the Rampage was okay
It was okay.
because it. I loved him coming into Tokyo Bay,
Mm-hmm.
very very much reminiscent of like the original shot from the '54 one, just amped up with more explosions, and it looked really cool. But then yeah, the art like harkening back and like I'm going to compare this a lot to the original 1954 Godzilla because it's a direct sequel and it very much references the 54 a lot. There's not a moment that feels like at the end of that Rampage in 54 when you get the shot like that wide shot of Tokyo burning and Godzilla silhouetted in the flame is like probably my favorite shot in a Godzilla movie ever.
Oh yeah.
And like it leaves because it also just leaves you with such a like there's no music and it leaves you in such an emptiness and sorrow, and that's just it just doesn't reach that point.
Yeah, it feels more like more blockbustery and more like they're worried about like the like the vision and the maybe not vision but like
the visuals
and like the effects and like they want it to look big and pop and like more like stuff like that. But like whereas the 54 like I don't know if it was like just due to like the intensity of the message that they were trying to send or like the lack of like effects they had to work with, so they had to make what they had. They had to sell it, I don't know. Maybe just the 54 movie like resonates more, but like this one, you're right. It doesn't reach like that same level of like dread, specifically the Rampage scene. Like you don't get that like dread and like just sadness in that scene.
Yeah.
And maybe that's not the whole point. Maybe they weren't trying to reach that, but like it didn't stand out in any other way really to me, So like other than the effects, I mean, they were great, but like it didn't leave me like with anything. Whereas like the 54 Rampage, that shot specifically that you were talking about, like it leaves you with a sense of like dread and despair and like it lasts, so
And then to jump ahead to compare it to to -1, even though like that
Yeah.
rampage that didn't necessarily
Yeah.
leave you I guess with the way it ended, like it does not necessarily despair, but like it was engaging because you were following people and like they were
Yeah.
following people. Like there was I think the reporter and his friend, they were like stuck in one of the buildings of the Godzilla rampaging, and like um, they were trying to very much create the tension of like we need to get out of this building before Godzilla attacks it, but like the way it was like coordinated or like the choreography of it, like I didn't really ever feel that tension as they were like trying to get out of the whole like, and that's where you get the homeless guy like helping rescue him and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And there just never was to me that tension of like, oh fuck, they got to get out of there.
Yeah.
The same way that like comparing it to -1 with the boat scene of like, oh, they got to get away.
Yeah.
They have to get away.
Yeah.
And granted, that could just be like technological and stuff like advances and stuff
Well,
like
I
that.
think then on that point, like that really is a lot of that is like the cast, like the characters in -1, they're so much more engaging and like I love those characters, whereas these people I really didn't care one way or another whether they made it or didn't.
Yeah, because it never really feels like we get a chance to know them. Like you meet them in a really engaging area. Like that's why like and that's part of what hurts me. I think is the beginning is so strong of like you get that like the guy he's still like recovering both mentally and physically from the attack, and you have like this reporter who's trying to figure out what happened and trying to warn people about the uh, threat of Godzilla, and then he like tracks down her sister or his sister and is like, hey, you like get to like, and there's such a good start and foundation there, but there's nothing that like I think for me personally follows through with it.
Yeah, I mean, and like you were saying, like the pieces are there for it to have been really engaging, and like there could have been character depth that like to me that like I guess to us wasn't really there. Like I don't, maybe it just didn't grab me.
Yeah.
Maybe because I lost interest in the movie at some point, like I didn't really try to engage as much as I should have with those characters. I'm not sure what went wrong for me, but yeah, it just didn't really. They didn't grab me. Their story didn't grab me. I maybe if there was more focus on that and their depth as characters and less on like the tension of like the nukes might happen.
The Cold War,
yeah. Maybe if that was gone and it was just the people, and there was more time with them, maybe that would have like kind of given them the depth that they needed.
Yeah,
I don't know, maybe not, but yeah, they don't really leave a lot
to care about.
I guess, yeah.
And I will say that to me to kind of get towards the end because I feel like we've kind of covered how we feel about
there's not
the
really
plot.
much else.
The human plot is only the second most disappointing thing for me in this movie because the number one is there's no fucking aliens. No, I'm joking. No, number one is the fucking climax is so like the actual like because it ends with them like somehow getting Godzilla like over. They found out they can lure Godzilla with noise, and they use that to get him to the mouth of a volcano so that he falls into it, and just like it is so I don't know, it just like it's so unexciting because like there's no like Godzilla fighting it or trying to get away or like them tricking Godzilla. It just happens.
Yeah.
And you get a little bit of the like recreation of like, we've talked about Godzilla in 54, Godzilla's death throes as the oxygen destroyer is starting to like kill him and him trying to escape it. You get a little bit of that, but not too like it just I don't know, like it doesn't have the same impact because like you do get people who are sad about it.
Yeah.
But like in the same way that, of course Sarah was sad about it and like everybody like you get that mournful feeling. It just doesn't to me it does again kind of going back to what we said, it just doesn't resonate the same way. I just it wasn't exciting.
Yeah, not really. It really just I kind of expected like the plan to not work and him to not go into the volcano or something.
Or have like I guess Super X or the X Jet do something a little bit more, be a little bit more involved in the climax.
Yeah, because I mean, like he really did just kind of waltz waltz in there and like didn't like even acknowledge that there's like a gigantic hole in front of him that he's gonna walk. Like he could have
Yeah.
walked around it either way. He just like went very animalistic and went right
Yeah.
through the hole and like fell onto a ledge and then fell further.
Yeah.
And it just didn't. I don't know.
Yeah.
I think at that point I was pretty checked out
Yeah.
with this one.
And for me, I on the other screen, not to say I wasn't excited for this, I was also watching the World Series at the same time, and this is when like Freddie Freeman was hitting home runs and stuff like that. So I was like watching this and being like, God, the baseball game is more exciting than a Godzilla movie, which I would almost never say in my life.
That's
So,
pretty bad.
but with I guess that kind of is leading toward our wrap up thoughts.
Yeah.
I think this has been so far a pretty quick episode.
Yeah.
Wyatt, do you have any final thoughts or things that you want to?
Final thoughts. It's not my favorite. To kind of reiterate on that, I know that's kind of shocking for this video. Special effects are great. The suit is. I like the suit a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I like the roar a lot. The music didn't really hit for me.
Because you don't even do you get the?
I don't think you ever get like the classic theme.
Yeah.
Overall, I'm glad I watched it, but I don't really see like okay. I want to watch it again to see if I like it more, but at the same time, like I don't want to watch it again.
I don't feel
Like,
the need to.
yeah.
I'm sure like I might do it to see if did I miss something or like
Yeah.
and there might be something that down the road we like revisit this to see.
Yeah.
But yeah, so to kind of reiterate on, I guess to mirror your thoughts a little bit of like, yeah, the special effects are awesome, but that's about the only thing that I can say is awesome.
Yeah.
I think they made a mistake of like, not, I don't know about a mistake, but like it seemed like they couldn't figure out if they wanted to do the original again with that emotional line, like through line and that same feeling, or if they were trying to modernize it for a blockbuster.
Yeah.
So that's why like I do find it a little bit funny that like it's being identified as both the Showa era and the Heisei era because it really doesn't know. It doesn't feel like it knows what direction to go in.
Yeah.
Again, yeah, like you said, glad I watched it because now I've seen it. But yeah, it's just I like almost felt bad how much I wasn't enjoying myself. Of like, man, I really wanted to like this one. I really was excited for this one, and that may be too. Like I was so excited for it, it wasn't going to meet my expectations.
Right. That could be. Yeah. But that's a pretty realistic thing.
Yeah.
I think. Yeah. The expectations may have outweighed this one.
Yeah.
So.
But
Whoop.
but why? Now, I guess with our final thoughts, we'll go ahead and start. now that we've given our final thoughts on this movie, we're going to go ahead and try to rank this. If you don't know, the ranking currently sits. We've covered 20 movies so far. At number 20 still remains Godzilla Raids Again. At number 19, we have Godzilla's Revenge. At number 18, we have Son of Godzilla. At number 17, we have Terror of Mechagodzilla. At number 16, we have Godzilla vs. Megalon.
Bullshit.
At number 15, we have Godzilla vs. Hedorah. At number 14, we have Invasion of the Astro Monster. At number 13, we have Godzilla vs. King Kong from 1962. At number 12, we have Godzilla vs. Kong from 2021. At number 11, we have Godzilla from 2014. At number 10, we have Ibera, the Horror of the Deep, or Godzilla vs. the Sea Monster. Take your pick. At number 9, we have Ghidorah, the three-headed monster. At number 8, we have Destroy All Monsters. At number 7, we have Godzilla vs. Mechagodzilla. At number 6, we have Godzilla vs. Gigan. At number 5, we still have GXK, The New Empire. Number 4, we have Godzilla, the original from 1954. At number 3, we have Godzilla vs. Mothra. At number 2, we have Godzilla King of the Monsters from 2019. And at number 1 still remains Godzilla -1.
Hey, it's back in theaters, by the way, this weekend.
This weekend-ish, yes.
Ish. Yeah,
so
I'm not sure exactly how long it's going to be in there, but
yeah. And I don't know when I'm going to be able to edit and upload this. So, so with that, Wyatt,
yes.
I guess do you know where you want this to rank? Because I actually don't know.
Yeah, I know where I want it.
Because okay, that's fine. Because like in terms of actual quality of like how well it's made, I think it's above some of the ones we've enjoyed more. But in terms of enjoyment, I'm actually thinking above Son of Godzilla, below Terror of Mechagodzilla.
That's exactly where I was going to put it.
Because Terror of Mechagodzilla has a good fight.
Yeah,
Like everything above this, I think I'm entertained more by, and I'm more willing to go back to. Like, you know, with some outliers, not withstanding. But yeah, I think it's. I'm definitely gonna watch this more before I would ever watch the Son of Godzilla, Revenge, or Raids Again.
Yeah, that's fair.
Okay, so
that was easy.
The first time we haven't played rock and paper scissors in a month. So with that, we have now covered 21 movies in total. At number 21, the ranking is now Godzilla Raids Again. At number 20, we have Godzilla's Revenge. At number 19, we have Son of Godzilla. At number 18, now we have Godzilla Returns, or Return of Godzilla. And then at number 17, we have Terror of Mechagodzilla. At number 16, we have Godzilla vs. Megalon. At number 15, we have Godzilla vs. Ghidorah, or the Smaller Monster. At number 14, we have Invasion of the Astro Monster. At number 13, now we have Godzilla vs. King Kong from 1962. At number 11, we have oh my god,
you're all over the place.
We have Godzilla vs. Kong from 2021. At number 11, we have Godzilla 2014. At number 10, we have Godzilla versus the Sea Monster. At number 9, we have Ghidorah, the three-headed monster. At number 5, we have Destroy... Nope. Oh my god! At number 8, we have Destroy All Monsters.
God damn.
At number 7, we have Godzilla versus Mechagodzilla. At number 6, we have Godzilla versus Gigan. At number 5, we have GXK, The New Empire. At number 4, we have the original from 1954, Godzilla. At number 3, we have Godzilla vs. Mothra. At number 2, we have Godzilla, King of the Monsters from 2019. And at number 1 still remains Godzilla -1.
Yes,
if you want to keep following along, please hit that subscribe button, the like button. Next up on the docket, we have Godzilla vs. Biollante.
I'm so excited for
which
this movie.
I'm so fucking excited for this because this is another one I haven't seen. And this is the third movie in a row I have not seen beforehand.
Damn.
And this is going to be the last time I say that for the Heisei era, I think. So like I'm very excited as like obviously the Showa era we're a little bit bummed it's gone that we've kind of done all of it, but
sweet.
This is the era that I'm the most nostalgia about. This is the era that I'm unbelievably excited to cover all of these. So please keep joining us. Until then, we got to get back to nerding out. I guess about the Heisei era.
Yeah. Hit the notification bell.
Not.